What's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome back to Engage Live. Yes, we are Engage Live this week because we have got some good old Trek to discuss, and we are going to try to keep it at Trek. If you guys are liking the general the general entertainment conversations that we had been doing with the weekly wrap up, midweek meltdown, let me know in the comments. We can continue those, but today it's all about Star Trek. And hey there, Clarence. Hey, Dreamwalker. And yes, I am ready to discover some discovery. Yes, I am. But before we get into that, I thought that we would start the today's program with a moment of silence for Kenneth Mitchell, who we know is has a long history of being part of the Star Trek universe. We've seen him play various Klingons. We've also seen him play Aurelio in Star Trek Discovery. Hey there, March. Good to see you. Um, and yes, we lost him this past week. He uh, finally lost his battle with ALS. It was a 5-year battle, and he faced it with such courage, such an inspiration for people who are suffering from a debilitating illness like that. He did not let it, he lived up until that last moment. He didn't let the diagnosis, be the end of his story. He had so much story left in him. We are very, very, I guess, sympathetic with the family, specifically his wife and children. And then, of course, the greater Star Trek universe and people who had gotten to know him through his work. He was also in Captain Marvel. And I know I'm retreading a whole lot of the territory that my friend Clarence did on his live stream, but I was tardy for the party that day. I slept through the live stream. I'm so sorry. And I watched it later though. So I do know that Clarence did an awesome job memorializing Kenneth Mitchell, and I thought I would add my 2 cents. Um, Prayers to Kenneth Mitchell's loved ones. Yes. Speaking of the outpouring of support for Kenneth Mitchell's family, at the time of this article, and I want to say this article was written, let me see. I'm having trouble seeing here lately. It was written on February 26th. Gosh. It was written on February 26th, and as of that date, there was a wave of support washing over the family of Kenneth Mitchell following his recent passing. Fans and well-wishers at that time had come together, raising over $50,000 to help ease the burden of astronomical medical bills and debt left behind. One of the things I guess that we could say that the actors were fighting for, you want a person, especially a person who's working up to the last until the end of their journey here on Earth. You want them to be taken care of, and you don't want their family to be saddled with this level of debt. But the fans had her back. Mitchell is known for roles in Star Trek Discovery and Captain Marvel. He passed away on Friday, February 24th. His family announced in a statement shared on his verified Instagram account on Sunday. Now, what you are seeing, what I'm sharing here is his 5-year anniversary post that he put up about his diagnosis with ALS. It was the 5 years anniversary of his being diagnosed. And the level of humor that he was able to demonstrate, even when he was going through something as tough as being diagnosed, and knowing that that this battle would eventually come to an end, and what he would be leaving behind. I just think he exudes that level of strength and grace that I only hope that I would have when it's time for me to say goodbye. Very powerful to see a character in a wheelchair. Yes, and he wasn't playing like somebody that you needed to pity. You know, that the powerful aspect of that was he was still playing a character who had fortitude, who had something to give, and it wasn't oh woe is me type of character. I loved that. I love that. That's what I loved about the Aurelio character. And Clarence is saying hearts and minds to his family, and I totally agree. Um, so I don't know if there's anything else doop 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 that I wanted to share about this this tragedy. I guess Mitchell also voiced multiple characters in an episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, which went over my head. I didn't remember that. Um, expressed deep gratitude for having the current day available to him. He reflected on the past 5 years and acknowledged both the losses and gains he had experienced. So that outpouring of love is definitely helping the family. Like I said, it's raised over $57,000 in 7 days. So that's more than 50% of the $100,000 goal at the time of the writing. So they do have a $100,000 goal if you're in a position to help Kenneth Mitchell's family to defray some of these costs from his medical the medical attention and needs that he had, you can do that with their GoFundMe. It is titled For Ken's Family, Susan and Kids. So yeah, there's that. Hey, Justin. He said, I got another 35 years. Let me think. That'll put me at 80 something. I hope I don't sound morbid when I say I want to check out a little earlier than that, unless they do something that like that's able to keep your mind a little stronger or whatever. Um, I don't know if I want to be here. But that is another conversation for another day. I don't want to sound morbid. Hey there, Justin. Glad you can make it. And yes, thank you for also adding your sympathies and condolences to Kenneth Mitchell and his family. All right, y'all. So y'all know what we're here for. I'm going to rehash a whole lot of territory. Like I said, everybody else did their stuff last week while I was sleeping. If you guys didn't know, I had the children for about 5 days while their parents went on vacation. And my two grandkids are both under 2 years old. So neither one of them is potty trained. Neither one of them is truly feeding themselves. And I bit off more than I can chew. I did. And I have been paying for it since, but I feel good today. I feel a lot better than I had been. It's taken a lot to get back to myself. But I'm back to myself just in time to, I guess, discuss this trailer for Discovery Season 5, the final season. Oh, before I get to that, thank you, Marge, for sharing in our Discord, which I did not link to because duh. But she shared the Sonequa Martin Green, Tawny Newsome conversation that they had called on the show called Stargazer. Yeah. Episode 1 of Stargazer. And let me tell you, I enjoyed the conversation. There's just something about Black women complimenting one another. And I know, I'm a woman and I'm Black first, and then I'm a woman, So that's the way I saw it. And if you look at reality TV and you see the catty type of relationships that women can have with one another, it is so uplifting when you see two women, specifically in this case, Black women, giving one another their flowers while they're here to receive them. They had a conversation that truly sparked, a lot of thoughts in my mind about, like, when we have a lead or prominent Black women characters, they turn into that magical Negro trope. And I know people don't want to hear it, but I'm gonna say it. Y'all, if you don't know what the magical Negro is, it is basically they make us seem so otherworldly, so strong, and we have this intuition, which many of us do, but women in general, we have intuition, but that's a whole nother conversation. They give us this mystical quality, and we have all the answers, and it's refreshing to see a character like Michael Burnham, like Beckett Mariner, trying to kind of muddle their way through it. Now they do come up with the solutions, but the solutions are not something that is just inherent to them. They truly have to seek a solution. And um I don't know if other cultures, if white people or Asians, or if they get this as much, or even if they understand how it's been done. You even look at Guinan, even though I love the character of Guinan, magical Negro, and there are several other cases of that being the case. But this depiction of these two characters is allowing them the opportunity and the latitude to have flaws, and also to overcome those flaws, to lean on someone else for support, which, as much as I give Discovery grief about the character of Book, I kind of like the fact that he's there. Even when I don't like it, sometimes I don't like it, but I understand what his role is. It's to show that this Black woman, and I know you guys might think that I'm hammering this Black thing into the ground, but it is a way of showing that this Black woman has support, has somebody who has her back, who recognizes that she's strong, but is still there for her when she's weak. So, and another question that I had about the whole conversation, they talked about what made them go with the box braids for the later later seasons of Star Trek Discovery. And Sonequa Martin Green says, "Hey, I showed up at a lunch with box braids and they liked it," which for Black women, we know that's primarily a protective style. It's to keep us from having to manipulate our own hair so much that might be damaging, or might break our hair, or just to give our hair a break, let it breathe. And my only question is, like, who is doing these box braids on Discovery? I want to know who the stylist is. It's got to be Owo, right? Owo got to be the one. That's why she continues to make it through later seasons, because she got to be the one that's doing Burnham's hair. But anyway, I'm going to go and grab conversations. I mean, grab comments before we get into our conversation about this trailer. Okay. Clarence also loved that conversation with Sonequa Martin Green and Tawny Newsome. Marge said, like the man in the Green Mile, played by Michael Clark Duncan. Yes, exactly. It's not always, but when they put us in that magical Negro role, they made a whole movie called something, the Organization of Magical Negroes or something. I didn't see it. I don't think I would have to give it a chance, right? I can't just go off the title. Dreamwalker said Native Americans might get a similar treatment sometimes. They do. It's always some type of, we got this answer from the ancestors, which we all, I guess, can glean things from our ancestors, but they just always make us look so magical. And Justin said, as someone who is half Native American, I know what you mean. We are always looked at as wise and mystical. Oh, Clarence said he's a fan of season 1 hair, but good for her. Now, I didn't like her hair in season 1. It was more functional for what she was, where she was and what she was doing. I didn't like it that much. I was like, they could have, styled it a little better, but the box braids, they work for me. And just like you said, Claire, it's good for her. She grew up, her hair grew up. The braids had their own action shots. Yes, I actually like that too. That they Olatunde Osunsami made sure to catch all angles of her hair because the hairstyle when she first took the captain's chair in season 3, that hairstyle was styled that way to kind of exude that power, but at the same time a little bit of elegance. I loved it. Loved it. Bagger Vance, it's always somebody, it's always somebody with the whole trope. So I like the fact again that they've given these female characters a little room to be messy, kind of like even with what's her name now, Janeway. When we think about Janeway, uh, she had the latitude to make mistakes. But the mistakes that she made, she was like, we got to live with them. Pretty much. We got to live with them. Or at least I do. It's on me. I've made mistakes. I'm a flawed person. We all think of some kind of way about Tuvix. We all think some kind of way about her overruling B'Elanna Torres when she did not want this Cardassian war criminal giving her a second chance at life. And we saw Janeway say, I don't care what she said. I got to save her life. We saw Janeway get those opportunities to be strong, be wrong sometimes, but live with the flaws in her own character. And I like that. She wasn't completely one-dimensional, like where all of her decisions made complete and total sense to everybody on the ship, and nobody ever gave her any pushback. No, she got pushback sometimes, but the pushback she got, she was like, look, I got broad shoulders. I can carry this. So I liked it. I liked all of that. Dreamwalker says, when Janeway chose to destroy an entire timeline in Endgame, these are decisions that the character has to carry. And based upon what we saw of Janeway over 7 seasons, and mind you, I was not a big fan of Voyager when I first watched it. Watching it as a middle-aged woman with a little bit more life in me, behind me, underneath me, I completely understand Janeway and the decisions that she sometimes had to make in order for that crew to get home, to include what happened in Endgame. Yep. We're going to talk about this trailer, and I'm going to tell you, I did some lazy ass ish. And some of my lazy ish was because I did watch the trailer multiple times, but I don't know. At the beginning of this stream, I told you guys I'm having vision issues, and I can't see the details the way I used to. So I have to look to someone else to tell me what details I may have missed, and it's okay. I don't feel. I guess I don't feel terrible about that, but I did look to trekmovie.com, and that article that they did helped me with deciphering some of the things that I was seeing within that trailer. Oh, Lee just watched Voyager for the first time and he loves it. I think I might have been one of those people back in the day. You know how we start talking ish about how people are about Discovery now? Now, I wasn't all loud and ignorant about, I just didn't like Voyager. But now I'm like, what the hell was wrong with me then? But what was wrong with me then is I was looking at it from an entirely different lens. I was expecting this female character to do things the way I would do them. And I'm mad because she's a female and she didn't do it the way I would do it. But she's not me. And it takes a little living sometimes to understand. And Marge said Voyager is her series. My series is DS9. And I think that might have been a part of the issue. I was kind of hoping that Voyager went the way of DS9 and had a more serialized feel. Even though there are some standalone episodes that are fantastic, there's also that thread that holds it all together, or the thread that carries on from week to week. And I enjoyed that about DS9. We saw a little bit of it, and we're getting off into some other ish, but it's still Star Trek, so we can stay here. The year from the Year of Hell, parts 1 and 2. I could have took a whole season of that. I could have lived in that space for a year because it was just awesome television. It's just awesome television. Yes. Mars says she wants to be Captain Janeway. Yes. Clarence says Voyager was also his Star Trek as well. And Dreamwalker said Voyager was his series as well. And I'm sure it was good for me as a boy to see a strong woman leading the show. And that's another thing that everybody wasn't ready for that. And I'm so glad that some people were just like said, F it. I'm in with Janeway. Yep, she made some decisions that might have been questionable at the time, but you got to live with those decisions. Justice says, on a side note, Star Trek Picard picked up awards at Saturn Awards, and Patrick is getting a show person award also. You know, we talked about the Saturns. Gosh, it had to be the week it happened. But I was off last week, so it had to be the week before last. But yeah, we were very, very proud of what Picard did at the Saturns. Also, John Wesley, excuse me, John Wesley for picking up best guest performance. The Lifetime Achievement Award that was given to the cast of Star Trek TNG. Yeah. So thank you for the reminder of how wonderful this era of Star Trek is. And I just want to say hello to everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Twitch. Thanks for being here. Okay. And add in the conversation if you like. This is not an exclusive conversation. You can add in, chime in if you'd like. All right, let's talk about this ish. So we go first. It has been a hell of a ride, or a hell of a journey, but everything ends someday. And I got a strong feeling this is a tacked on type of line, because we did not expect when the series was shot, they didn't even expect season 5 to be the final season. It was kind of made a decision after the fact, and they had to go back and add some things in to kind of give us a epilogue for the series. So, but we got just a beautiful shot of the Discovery approaching this city in the clouds. Hey there, Win Grace. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. So yeah, then we hear that was so Captain Burnham is the one who says that it's been a hell of a journey, but everything ends someday. Yeah, that was the day that you were working, Justin. You did pop in for a second though, didn't you? Yeah, we transition to Discovery, leaving Starfleet headquarters. Then we see inside headquarters with Saru and Navarre President Tarina. We hear Captain Saru say via voiceover that he says the Discovery is my home, my family. But when he's saying the words My family, that is when this image of Tarina and Saru pops onto the screen, which makes me wonder if it was intentional. My family, is she now his family? Have they uh have they gotten married? I know Marge brought it up in the Discord, but it is a question of whether they are getting married or have they gotten married. And will that play a role in the decision that Saru has to make about whether or not to take this dream job, this dream Starfleet job? Should he take it if it means that he would have to be separated from Tarina? Because it looks like their relationship is going strong. Let's see. Then we have Burnham, and she is in a, it looks like a shuttle bay. And in the shuttle bay, she sees something, and the look on her face is kind of innocuous. It's almost like we don't particularly know how she feels about what she's seeing. Oops. Do we know the time between seasons in universe? Don't know. At least I don't know. But uh it has to be a reasonable amount of time between seasons, because what we see next is Book is back. And I would hate for it to have been a short period of time between seasons in universe, because he should he should have he should have had a substantial punishment for what he took part in. And I was asking myself as I watched the trailer, why is he back? Then I saw Clarence asking the same question, and I'm like, well, I'm glad I wasn't just being a jerk about it. But him being back could be a way of them denoting that there has been an ample amount of time between seasons, and he has served his penance for his wrongdoing in season 4. And this would be him and Burnham meeting back up for the first time since he has returned from his punishment. Now, Dreamwalker says, I'll put my bets on already married by the end of episode 1. We shall see. I would not doubt that they would do that, because that would also denote the passage of time. So if there has been a passage of time, then those things might be ways that we are seeing that, okay, some time has passed, and it's time for a new adventure. It's not like we did this thing with 10C and now we're right back up to high ramped up action. I like to know some things happen in between. Marge says, I like the idea of them already married. That is a good thought. Yes, Claire says, yeah, me too. Saru needs love. Yeah, he looked like he found it. They look like they're happy together. Dreamwalker said, yeah, it's a little weird for him to be let off easy. Talking about Book. So yeah, I really hope that what we see is not him getting off with a slap on the wrist, that he had to put some time into what they had him doing in order. He was fixing worlds that had been affected by the 10C, right? Hopefully that took some time. Let's see. So Tilly, we see Tilly. She's back from the academy. You also see or hear her say, being a part of a crew, being where you need to be when you need to be, that's Starfleet. Now, I don't know who she's telling this to, who she's giving this this monologue to, but it's very Tilly. So maybe we're getting Tilly back to where she was prior to last season. And last season, we know she was pregnant. She went off to have a baby. So we got a different kind of Tilly last season, but now she's back from the academy, and the bridge crew of the Discovery gets into action, and she's at the forefront of this photo. We also see Stamets. We see Owo. This is not Detmer or Reese or Bryce. So, but we do see Linus. We see Captain Rayner. We see Captain Burnham. We see Book. So we got some of our usual suspects, but we do not have everybody. Funny. So where are they at? Where are they? Now we know that the Captain Rayner of Navarre is a new cast member. And yeah, he's a Romulan. It looks like Romulan. And his last name is Rayner, which is not a Romulan name. So it makes me feel like he may be mixed. He may be a mixed race Romulan. We shall see, right? So the intro is going to wrap up with Saru and Burnham. And they look like they are going on a mission. And we know that they all eventually do go on a mission. But she says, last dance. And he said, I shall let you lead, or I shall follow your lead. And Lord, it's just perfect. It's a perfect setup for an away mission that we probably are going to expect somebody to not come back from. I don't think that's going to happen, but they are laying the expectation down. And I don't know when this away mission will fall in the season, but I think it's going to build up enough suspense around what's going on in the mission to make us wonder, or at least some of us will wonder, somebody ain't going to make it back. And I hope I hope that both Saru and Burnham, of course, will make it back. But it's possible that we will see somebody lost on the mission. Now, we know, or at least we know, that there is a mission that shows Book and Culber and Burnham. Is that like a hint that we might be losing one of them? I hope not. We've already done that game with Culber, right? David Ajala said the season hits the ground running and never lets up. It's going to be high octane from the beginning, it sounds like, huh? Marge says Michael Burnham has such an expressive face. Beautiful. She does. That is something that I've always admired about her. She says a lot without saying a word. And everybody doesn't appreciate that, but that is something that, the acting that she does with just a look, it kind of reminds me of Anson Mount and how many different emotions and sentiments his face does when we when we watch him and there's no words spoken. Specifically, think about the Vulcan dinner that he he was hosting in his quarters, and he did the cooking. But every time the camera cut to him, he wasn't saying anything, but his face said it all. I love it, and that Sonequa Martin Green is very good at saying a lot without saying a word. Clarence says, crazy the expression you can see on Doug Jones' face. That's another thing, just with the eyes. Now, I don't know how much movement those prosthetics do on his face, but he says a lot with just his eyes, and that is just absolutely it's something that is difficult to do. You will see some actors, and we've seen it in movies where they were doing practical makeup instead of the motion capture, where a character that is underneath that much prosthesis does not have an expression. It's going to take their words to say what they're going to say. He is a fantastic actor with just his eyes. Marge says she's stocking up on tissues. Oh my goodness, you and me both, girl. Wigray says he's at the destination. He's at his destination. We'll see you later, sir. Agreed, Marge. Yeah, we're gonna need some tissues. I hope we don't lose Grudge on the mission. We better not lose Grudge. And the reason why is because I still don't know what Grudge is besides the cat. We know it's a cat. Is she a flirkin? That's why I just want to know if Grudge is a flirkin. Vulcan dinner was hilarious. It was. Doug Jones is a treasure. He is. And that was just Clarence saying goodbye to Wingrace. All right. So she's the queen, but she's the queen of what, Marge? I want to know what she is the queen of. But yeah, I we need more on Grudge. Every time I say Grudge, I think about my cat. I named my cat Grudge, and my cat is yep, it's a Grudge. All right, so we see a picture next of the Spore Drive activating. I don't know how many more times we can see this, but every time it just looks beautiful to me, and I love it. And we are seeing this planet that they're over, and don't know what planet that is. I don't know if that's where we're going to go on this away mission where we see Maul and Locke for the first time, but this could be it, you know. So we go to Kovich. We still ain't got a lot of answer on Kovich. I'm looking for more of what the hell is what is his true role in Starfleet, in the Federation? What is his true role? Number one. And like what is he adding? Is he like our version in this, you know, in TNG, if there was this type of mission that they were on, you know that Captain Picard would have been all over it. And the reason why is because of his interest in archaeology. So is he like our stand-in for a Patrick Stewart, where he has a deep knowledge of archaeology, and that he is going to be kind of laying out the foundation of this mission? Because I'm just so confused. And anywho, he says the greatest treasure in the known galaxy is out there. It's more important than you can imagine. He also tells us in that same kind of little scene that it can be very dangerous in the wrong hands. So whatever it is, it's a treasure that it seems like it's a treasure to one person, one group, but to another group, it would be a means to do something nefarious. So I won't call it a weapon. It's a treasure to one person, but to somebody else, it's I want to fail to say weapon, because I don't want to say weapon, because y'all know it might not be a weapon. You know what I mean? It could just be something that could allow people to move around in such a way that they wouldn't be able to move around without it, and they could be up to no worldly good during their movements. And I'm saying it like that because obviously I've got an idea, and do not pin me down to this as a true to life theory, because all I've seen is this trailer. But I have an idea that there's some technology that's out there that would be it'd be really dangerous. And we've seen the technology before. We saw it in TNG. You guys might know what I'm talking about. I'm hinting at it very strongly. You guys might know what I'm talking about. But anywho, it looks like, I think this is Burnham in book. Let me see. I think it's Burnham in book. I can't see for sure, but it looks like, and I don't know if you can see my arrow because, you know, I don't know if that's book and that's Burnham. Anywho, we'll see. Oh, Dreamwalker says that he's going to predict also that the show leaves us wanting on Kovich. I hope they wrap something up with Kovich. There are a few things that I hope they wrap up besides Queen Grudge and Kovich. I hope they don't just leave us hanging, Dreamwalker. But you might be right, and you're right. I should have just said the word instrument because I kept reaching for a word and I could not find it, and I did not look at the comments until just now. Marge said it would be fun if Kovich pulls a book of archaeology by John Le Picard off his shelf. That would be amazing. An amazing, also a cool shot too, Marge. That would be an amazing callback to Picard, though. Okay, so Clarence said, with Kovich's knowledge of parallel universes, I think universe jumping and or time travel might be a sure bet. And with that, I agree. I think it will be the kind of technology that we saw, and I believe it was the Iconians from Star Trek TNG. I forgot what the name of the episode was. Forgive me, but they destroyed a ship. It was Picard, Worf, and Data. And they destroyed this ship because if it got into the wrong hands, it would have been terrible. They used it on accident and went to other places, did some light speed travel, but they're like, somebody else could use this and do some real damage. So they destroyed it. Now, if you guys remember which ones I'm talking about, the chase. Was it the chase, March? Oh no, it wasn't that one. The chase. I think that's another one I kind of thought of though, Marge, where they were all trying to all the different species, the Klingons, the Romulans, and the in Starfleet were trying to race and put the pieces to this puzzle together, and they found out that it was from, I guess, a superior species that kind of seeded the galaxy with life, with DNA, because we all at some point realized that we all share some DNA. But anywho, I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of the episode I'm thinking about. Now, what is this? Ellis, I think. Contagion. Is that the episode? Could be the episode. Hey there, welcome. And Justice says, I love how Discovery does their space shots. That's another thing that I talked about. That AR wall, they are using the hell out of it this season. I mean, they've been using it, but now it's getting to be such a piece of technology that we are seeing used over and over for this, especially for sci-fi, that I'm starting to be able to recognize it. And we saw it a lot in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. See it a lot in The Mandalorian. We see it a lot in all of the Star Wars series, and we are seeing it again here on Discovery. Clarence says Iconian Gate was on the Borg ship in Picard season 1 too. And that was it, Marge. That was it. Ellis. I hope I'm saying it right. Hey there, David. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. Better late than never. But yeah, we I think that Iconian, I think the whole Iconian thing is going to play into this because we got questions about that species as well. So, and okay, this is Tasha jumping out the window. Y'all know I do this shit. But if these two factions are racing to find to find this artifact, and it gets into the wrong hands in some way, shape, or form, then at some point will the Iconian step in and try to navigate things in the favor of the group that would be doing right by the technology. We shall see. Okay. So we saw the puzzle box, which I'm calling it Cosmic Rubik's Cube. I know it ain't a Rubik's Cube. It looks more like, I can't even remember that little game we used to play as kids, before games required electricity and handheld handheld joysticks. When games were like this, Marge might be able to help me out because I know we're similar in age. Shoot. Um, do you remember what game I'm talking about, Marge? It was a game that looked like this. You slid the little things. It was like a puzzle game. But this is what this looks like to me. It's a freaking puzzle game. Now, the synopsis for the first episode has Discovery being sent to retrieve an artifact from a mysterious 800-year-old Romulan vessel. Kovach's talk of treasure is intercut with shots of a puzzle box with Captains Burnham and Rayner in voiceover. She says, "We are on a search for one of the greatest powers ever known," and Rayner says it could be very dangerous in the wrong hands. One of the greatest powers ever known has to it was a puzzle. It was a slide. Yeah, it was some kind of slide puzzle, but I can't remember. Well, you know what? Maybe it was different. It had different little designs or whatever where you just slid the things. Anywho, people of a certain age. we didn't have video games. We had shit like this, which actually makes this more interesting to me because it makes me feel like it's something we could figure out. It's something that we could figure out if we could see every little piece of this game or whatever it is, and see all the sides that we might be able to put it together ourselves. We also see the puzzle box being opened. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Goodness, but we also see this self-sealing stem bolt. It has made it into the 32nd century, y'all. It is still alive. And also, somebody said isolinear chip. And I'm not 100% sure what this other device is. Somebody help me. David says, can't remember the name of the puzzle, but I know what you're talking about. So yeah, David, you're in my age range too. Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested in the puzzle box, of course, because we also got a glimpse of those glyphs that are similar to what's on this puzzle box on the poster for Discovery season 5. Let me see. Discovery season 5 poster. Because I didn't think that I was gonna need it, but I do want to I want to take a look at it. Somebody shared it in the Discord. Somebody shared it in the Discord. Open that in a new tab. And I'm like, ooh, thank you. Somebody, I think it was Clarence. Let's share my tab. So you see around the characters' heads, we see those glyphs, and they are very similar to what we are seeing here on the box. Now before I go away from this, we're going to remember also to take a look at the poster and kind of take in who's missing off of the poster. There are quite a few faces that we expected to see that we don't, but I guess this is what would be considered this season's main cast, and we're gonna roll with it. I mean, like I said, there some familiar faces are missing. The way they have them lined up is interesting, but this is what we got for main cast. Anywho, back to our self-sealing stem bolt. Justice says it was in the neutral zone and the ships were infected. Also, Star Trek Online gave us a lot of Iconian lore and the Iconian War. And they were mentioned, right? Weren't the Iconians on a map or something from last season? Correct me if I'm wrong. Marge said, sliding block puzzles or sliders. Yeah. Thank you, Marge. Thank you. Well, that's what this is what this looks like to me, except for it's a cube shaped one. So, like, if you solve one part, you still got the other sides of the cube that needs solving. It could be interesting to try to figure it out. It's always interesting to me. You guys know I'm obsessed with that type of ish anyway, and with these vision issues are keeping me from being as obsessive as I would generally be. But if you guys have some ideas, I'm all ears because I can't see. Oh, David said, "Is the Discord link in the description page?" I do Discord. I'm gonna have to put it there. I'm going to. I tell you what I'll do, David, and please, if it looks like I forget, remind me to put a link. I'm gonna put a link to my, what do you call it, link tree, and it has a current link to the Discord, and that way, if you are interested and keeping in touch with us all week long, because we do this, somebody is doing something in that Discord all week long. We do have a great conversations, and I know today is not the day. I said that I was going to stay on Star Trek, but there was a very interesting conversation while I was sleeping. That Marge had a question about the term woke. Now, I'm not going to address it today, but Marge, know that I saw it. I slept a lot after my kids came back from Vegas. So we're going to talk about it. I don't know how, but we're going to talk about it. Moving on. We got Maul and Locke, the baddies. They are being introduced here, and the box looks like it's being opened at this sandy desert type place. And surprisingly, Maul and Locke are at this sandy desert type place. And guess who else is there? Burnham. Burnham appears to be in the same place. So maybe they're like all meeting up. The race was on, and of course there's no telling which group got there first. It does not look like that's Burnham and them got that artifact, though. It looks like somebody else, unless the artifact that they had, the little puzzle box, unless that is just directions to getting where you need to go next. Gosh, I can't wait for this season to start, because all of these what ifs, they just eat me alive. Marge says, "Talk to me on Discord. I want to know what you think." I'm gonna address it. Yeah. Um, you said Maul and Locke. I miss them. They are the baddies. They are the baddies of this season, supposedly. Will we find out that they are sympathetic characters that are not necessarily bad? Will it be what was that lady's name from Picard? They got unceremoniously killed for no apparent reason. Vatic? What was that her name? Help me. But but yeah, will they be just bad? Mustache twirling bad? Or will they be on a mission that is going to serve them and their world or group or whatever they're representing in a different way than Starfleet? We shall see. David said, "I would love to join you guys, but I think I need an invite. I'm on Discord with Mr. E Files. There are about 8 of us in there from around the world. It's a lot of fun." All right. Well, I'm going to send you an invite or something. I'm going to figure out a way to get to you. And Vatic. Yeah, I had her name right. But yes, thank you, Marge. So will we get our like sympathetic bad guy, I guess. Please make them better villains than Osira. Osira, wait a minute now. She started off kind of was that the one that started off cartoonish and ended up being halfway decent, or did she start off decent and end up being cartoonish? I would have to watch that season again. I am, because Osira could have been an excellent villain. But another thing that the Star Trek Discovery started doing is just killing off villains, and I'm like, don't kill them, don't kill them. We can use them again, especially now that we know. Okay, I understand if villains or whatever died in TNG, they had no idea that we were still going to be doing this 40 years later. But I don't know why you would kill a villain off in today's era of Star Trek, because you know that even if interest wanes and the franchise goes dormant for another 20 years, which, Lord God, I hope doesn't happen. But if the franchise were to go dormant again, you could bring all of it back in 20 years, because interest does, because it's a circular thing where people start to regain an interest in things from the past. We've seen it all. We've seen it a million times. Let me see. So now we got them. It looks like Maul and Locke, I believe, in some environmental suits, and they are boarding this ship, and it looks like it could potentially be that Romulan ship. So they may win. They may win the competition to getting over to that ship first. They take their helmets off, so it looks like that it was breathable atmosphere for them in there. Yeah, said Asara was definitely not your fave. You know that I think Control and Lorca were the best thing that happened as far as villains go. And of course I'm not talking Prime Lorca, I'm talking other universe Lorca. They were the best things as far as villains go. And Giorgio, she had her run as a little bit of a villain as well. I liked them. The stuff that they kind of went up against, wasn't really a villain for season, unless you call what's his name? Gosh, why can't I think of anybody's name? Not Book, but the dude Book was working with. Unless you call him a villain, which I guess in a way he was, kind of sympathetic. We would have had sympathy for him if he didn't start twirling his mustache at the end. Yeah, but anyway, she's taking whichever one, she's Maul. She's taking her environmental suit off. They can breathe the atmosphere in there, and they're Tarka. Lord, Tarka. That was the other dude. Remember, I just said other dude. That was his name was Tarka. And Marge says she bows to Giorgio, the Emperor. I can't wait to see Michelle Yeoh in her Section 31 movie. I think that might be the last time we see that character in Star Trek. And if it is, and they do it well, so be it. So Bennett, we had a good run with Michelle Yeoh. She's a very busy woman nowadays. And of course, I've said it from the beginning, from when the moment that we met Prime, Philippa Georgiou. I love Michelle Yeoh, have loved her, still love her, and I'm going to support whatever she does next. But I definitely loved her in Star Trek. And I wish we would have gotten more of the Prime Philippa Georgiou, but I still love Mirror Georgiou and the arc that her character had undergone, especially when she went through the doorway that took her back to a choice, and she made the right one. Lord, I loved it. What else we got here? So Maul and Locke again. I just wanted you guys to get a good look at their faces. Lorca was great, Justin. Yes, Lorca was great. There are a lot of I guess, some threads that can be pulled there. And the reason why I'm saying that there are some threads that can be pulled with the Lorca thing is because of this photo. Well, maybe not just this photo. There were a couple of photos that showed the Terran Empire symbol on the inside of a ship. And it appears that Maul and Locke are having a shootout with Book and Burnham aboard this ship. Now, this ship could potentially be a relic that crossed boundaries, crossed dimensions from the mirror universe. And if that is the case, especially since we look at the ship and there are a lot of similarities to a Strange New Worlds era ship, even though we know that's the fucking Enterprise, but it's putting us, it's making us believe that we are being put in a place that this ship is of that era. We could be seeing the Defiant. And somebody in Clarence's chat the other day brought it up. The Defiant is from the oh gosh, was it the Carbonite Maneuver? Which episode was that? But anyway, the Defiant actually crossed over or disappeared. Then we find out in Enterprise that when it disappeared, it had crossed into the mirror universe. And now we could be seeing an arc closed about the USS Defiant, because this could very well be that ship. And who would bring that ship back from the mirror universe? I'll wait. Could it be Lorca? Could it be Lorca, y'all? So we hopefully we get some type of closure on Prime Lorca. We get some kind of closure. We're not owed any closure about the Defiant, but hopefully we get some. But again, we know that symbology, that symbol, the Terran Empire symbol, is the same one from Giorgio's era, which we know was the 23rd century. So we know we're talking about a ship from that era. And that era was where Discovery started. And Discovery started contemporaneously with the Enterprise of Strange New World. I know this is a whole lot of meandering that I'm doing here, but all of those things add up to somebody bringing that ship from the other side. Now, who that person would be, I think it's going to be Lorca, but we shall see. Marge says she likes the idea of Prime Lorca appearing. I would love it too, because I just like Jason Isaacs. But, superficiality aside, I would love to see that get closed off. Marge says, do you think all these screenshots are all from the first episode? I hope not. I hope some of them are from later, but they've made no promises. And this is basically the trailer being screenshotted. So do we think everything from the entire trailer was from the first couple of episodes? If we do, then we know that we're getting the first 2 episodes in on the same day, and we'll be able to see if everything came back from the same episodes. Hopefully, they are giving us a couple of views throughout the season, especially these high action shots that we are going to see a little bit later. Some very, very looks like a lot going on shots. And I hope they wouldn't throw all that in the first 2 episodes, but like David Ajala said, they're going to hit the ground running. So it's possible that they're serious about that, Star Trek always had great villains, and only Batman had better villains. Man, Batman has some great villains. I'm not going to get into it because we're going to stay on task. I'm not going to get into my Batman stuff. But they've got some villains that they could flesh out in the Batman universe, and I'll be glad to see them do it. And I'm gonna leave it alone. The USS effing Enterprise. I know I said it. I know I said it. I don't be thinking of what I'm saying. You gonna say put it on a t-shirt so I can get demonetized. That I don't make no money anyway. I don't know, Marge, but the lady looks like a young Goldie Hawn. I'm dated. Oh, you talking about that lady? She does, doesn't she? And I couldn't think of whose face, who she kind of reminded me of. It might be her, if that's what you're talking about. She reminded me of somebody. Tholian's Web. Thank you, Justin. It was not Corbomite maneuver. It was Tholian Web, and that is the episode that we heard about the Defiant, and then Enterprise picked that up and was like, "Oh, but you got the Defiant over here in the mirror universe, and now we could be potentially looking at the Defiant here because it's the same class ship. It's a sick babe from that era. Oh, it's looking like we might get it. We might. Where we at? So yeah, lots of action in this area. I stopped this because I remember, and I know I jumped out the window there too. But when we were talking about Picard, there was one episode, or there was one part where there was this thingamajigger, just like this, above a wall, and it's either like a security measure, or it could be like the ship having eyes. But I think it's a security measure, and if it's not a security measure, it could be them using some type of technology that we saw in TNG, which would put it a little ahead if this ship is truly from the early Discovery, Strange New Worlds era. So I ain't even gonna bring it up no more. Prime Lorca would be an excellent bookend, and equally as surprising as the fact that season 1 Lorca was from the mirror universe. Yes, full circle moment. We would get back to real Lorca and a Prime Lorca coming from the mirror universe, and then instead of mirror Lorca coming to the Prime universe. I didn't have to do that. Yeah, that was self-explanatory. Stay on course. Yes, I got to stay the course, girl. I got to stay the course because it's easy for me to get diverted. Everybody is agreeing with Clarence about Lorca, as do I. Let's move the F on, y'all. More glyphs. I don't know where they are. You guys tell me if you can recognize the setting there. But we do see another glyph. It looks like a planet. It could be anything, but trying to make heads or tails of it from a screenshot. Then another glyph, but we see Adira and Tilly, and I don't know if they are with both hands, with one hand on another's, drawing the glyph, or are they feeling the glyph? But the bottom line is they look like they are in some type of disguise, because they got these runes kind of on their head. You see, it looks like they're maybe on a away mission, and they've been y'all know the word, help me, not disguised. Put it like this: they've been altered. They've been altered to look like maybe whatever species that is that they are visiting. Some people said that this looks like Trill. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. If it's Trill, I don't know why they would need surgically altered. Thank you. and they on a recognizance mission. That those two things make sense. So yeah, but whatever the case is, they've been altered, it appears. I don't know if this is something that, again, it was done surgically, or if this is something there, some transformation they've undergone. I don't think it's a transformation, no. But yeah, you see that they've definitely been altered in some way. But it could be they're on a mission to figure out what's going on with these glyphs, runes, whatever you want to call them. So they have to look like the species that they're going to, they're going on a planet. They don't want to look like humans. But I don't know. Could be true. I don't have a clue just yet, Clarence. I did look at some things on Memory Alpha just to look at what some Romulan writing or Vulcan writing looked like, and it definitely looks similar. Similar. I can't say it's the same. I still have a little bit more investigating to do. Like I said, this has been a horrible week of doing investigations, but I'm very invested in the investigating part of this. I do want to see if there is a clue hidden somewhere in Star Trek that we've overlooked in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, because I was looking at this like, okay, was it a surgical alteration, or was this some ish that happened like this that happened with Data? Yeah, that's better. That's a better word. Then it's this big ass library, and I oh god, we need Hoshi, and we need her bad. We need Hoshi, and we need her bad. Give me Yahura. Give me anybody at this stage of the game. As quickly as Saru was doing his little typing on that thing, maybe he could help us. Shoot. But yeah, this is a library and it's real. Um, let me see. Let me see the location detail. I'm trying to see. Uh, there was there's a library in Toronto, I think. Thomas Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library at the University of Toronto. I would love to get lost in this. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful shot. What a beautiful, sickening amount of books. And I'm wondering why. I guess I'm wondering the same thing that most of us were wondering. Why are they all in one place? Like if these are rare books and we're protecting them, why would you put them all in one place? It's like if a person were to take out this one place, then all the damn books are gone. But maybe I'm jumping the gun, and there are several of these throughout the galaxy. I don't know. That's exactly what it is. Marge, you nailed it, girl. Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library at the University of Toronto. So I would love to get, like I said, though, absolutely love to get lost in those books. And I liked it so much that I put that slide twice. Look at there. Oh gosh, just the scale of it. Oh, David said he spends a lot of time in libraries. Now I do a lot of librarying off of Libby, the app. I get I've got Audible as well, but I get books from Libby and read them there and trade them in for, it's just like going to a library, except for it's for people who don't leave the house. People like me. Okay, then yeah, that book that that we said Kovich is going to use to study up on this archaeological find. It's in that library somewhere. This was like this statement made by Stamets. This clue is the most important thing. We have to keep it safe. So the question to me is, was he truly talking about that clue that he's got in his hand? And if he is, what makes it so important? Why is that clue something that they just got to keep safe? Because it seems like if we keep this clue, the other side, our competitors, can't complete their end of the mission because we've got this. But again, a lot of questions, no answers. And ain't that what we want in the trailer? We don't want all the answers spelled out to us in the trailer. We also see Stamets here. He's putting some type of device together, and it is possible that that little key he's holding there is something that the other side would need in order to complete this puzzle, I'm guessing. And like I said earlier, that AR wall is working overtime. We have seen some stunning, beautiful shots. You know, this looks like them just standing in a painting that has come to life. Beautiful, beautiful shots in this trailer. Now, whatever the hell this thing is, it's got a lot of eyes. I don't know what it is, but it has these drone thingies coming out, and it looks like those drones are going to attack or protect something there. And we see Saru jumping into a cave, because what is Star Trek without a cave? No, David, we have no idea what the clue is. That is like, that's the mission that we're on as fans right now, is trying to figure out what they're leading to, what this artifact is, and what the clues are leading up to. And I've already shown my hand earlier in the stream. I'm saying I think we might be seeing a payoff on the Iconians. I could be wrong. Then we got them on these crazy bikes. Clarence pointed out in his stream that it could be, these are very similar to the bikes that we've seen in Star Trek Lower Decks. I don't particularly remember the episode, but I trust Clarence's memory of this episode. But yeah, high octane, big action, lots of action we are seeing here in this desert terrain again. They are being fired upon. It's a lot going on. I don't think anybody is going to come up missing there, though. I don't know if this is Maul and Locke's ship, and we are seeing it about to go to warp. Again, we saw Burnham, Book, and Culber. They are on an away mission, desert planet. Could that be here? No, it doesn't look like the same. But we're going to, eventually we'll get answers on that too. Again, got this away mission. We got Booker, we got Burnham, and we got Culber, who I wish he would have changed about that white outfit, because that thing gonna be dirty by the time he get back on the ship. Now, I know he's probably got plenty of uniforms, but to go down to this dirty ass planet with this white uniform on is bugging me. It's just gonna give me the heebie-jeebies thinking about how dirty he's gonna be when he gets back to the ship. Yeah, it's a lot going on, and we can see that there are so many action shots. This one in particular, I'm like, okay, is she jumping in slow motion, or is she in a situation where there's low gravity? We don't know, but it does look good. That's a good looking shot of Michael Burnham. Another jump I don't know if she's jumping or falling. I believe she was falling in this picture. But God, it's just so much action. Then we see her literally surfing on a ship that's going to work. Like who the f does that? So it makes me think that we're going back to that one shot that I had of Marlon Locke's ship, and that she is on the outside of it, tethered to it, trying to infiltrate their ship. I don't know. Shit, y'all tell me. Super Mario Brothers. uh, White doesn't camouflage easy either. Nope, standing out like a sore thumb out there. Players of the Mass Effect game appreciate these leaping shots. I have no idea what game that is, y'all. I don't know. Oh gosh, but yeah, we got Burnham here, swag surfing on this ship. Another explosion. Like I said, we're gonna see a bunch. It appears that all these little bitty ass ships is coming up out this big one, and they are in pursuit of Discovery. And Discovery is Dreamwalker knows the game exactly what you're talking about. He played Mass Effect. But yeah, then we see, like, are they coming out of a black hole, or are they just going past one? I can't tell, but that is Disco. Also, another thing, and this ain't got nothing to do with what I was just talking about. Big budget, yep, they got it all. They showing us where every penny is going. They showed us in the trailer that yes, you're gonna get your money's worth this season, especially the last. We're gonna break the bank with this thing. But another thing that I did not mention, I failed to mention, and I don't know how many more slides I got. Let me see what number I'm on here. I don't know how many more slides I got. We on 55. We got about 5 or 10 more slides. But they say we're gonna get some answers to Calypso as well. And look, I've said it every season since we've seen that short trek. I need answers. I do not want that to be a thread that is just left hanging. I need answers as to why that ship was 1,000 years into the past, future, 1,000 years into the future, waiting on the Discovery crew to get back, and falling in love with Aldous Hodge's character. Gosh, again, stay on track, girl. That boy, stay on track. Kraft probably won't be coming back. We probably won't see Aldous Hodge's character, even though I welcome him back now. But we will get some closure on why Zora was there in the first place, supposedly, allegedly. David said, please define swag. It's free merch from advertising in my lingo. It's a style. It's having, swagger. So instead of saying a charisma, you would say swag. And Dreamwalker said, yes, we've been really patient on those Calypso answers. I'm going to quickly lose my patience with Star Trek Discovery. We need them answers before this thing is over. We need them answers. So again, we talked about Captain Raynor. We talked about seeing him. He's got the Romulan ears. We know that he is from Navarre, but I truly believe that we're going to find out that Raynor has a little bit of humanity or human in him. And yeah, we're not left with him being unemotional like Vulcans, because we are seeing a display of emotion right here. So is he part human? We'll find out. But the last name says to me that he probably is. Swag can be cheap. Weed, I've never heard it called that. I got some cheap weed. Anyway, we see Owo, and we learning, and we've ascertained that the only reason she is still on the ship is because she is the only person who can do Michael Burnham's hair, and her hair is looking really good there as well. She's got a nice protective style going. Oh gosh, Saru's eye, it's dilating. At one time, once upon a time, we would have said, oh, the fear, what are those tendrils that used to come out of the back of his head? Excuse me. Oh my gosh, his fear ganglia is gonna come out, but that ain't this anymore. He is evolved past having the ganglia. So what is it that Saru is seeing that's making him react like that? Haven't seen Detmer. And that to me is disappointing. Yes, it's very disappointing. I haven't seen Detmer, Reese, or Bryce. This heavily illuminated shot of Michael Burnham. She looks like she is either in wonder, some type of disbelief. Um, in it, but we do know we got Reno. So we got Reno, and she's got some type of toolbox in her hand. Looks like it's stuff that she would use as an engineer. We have Adira and also Tilly. And God, what are they looking at? They see something insane as well. The expressions on their face says something is crazy. Yeah, we got Jet. And she's never been in a lot of, in a whole lot of the season. So hopefully, we get her a little bit more than we have in previous seasons. But if we are judging from the let me see, if we judging from the poster, she probably only shows up a little. Or again, this poster could be telling a lot, and it could not be. We could just be getting who they want us to think about, and not everybody that is top build. I want to see more. It's a licorice person. I want to see more of Jet Reno though, and we shall see. It was only a couple more. This battered and bruised uh, Burnham. She's not in uniform. It looks like this could be potentially right after um, the opening, the shots of them on the motorcycle thingy or whatever. It could be from that scene. But she looks mighty happy for somebody who just, whatever this is that happened to her face, that she's she looks a little too happy. Uh, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, David. Um, Gratuitous shot of David Ajala without his shirt. Of course, what would a season of Star Trek Discovery be without that? But we do see him being some type of relief for Michael Burnham. So, yay. This might be it. Oh, we start getting towards the end, and it feels like they wrapped the trailer up with these shots because they want us to realize that these characters have come to mean so much to Michael Burnham. Book, Saru, they've had their times in seasons 1 and 2, and they've come to be like brother and sister. And then, of course, we see Jet Reno again, and we see Colbert and Stamets, and then Tilly and Michael. Just very heartfelt. So we still see, and so many people are going to be angry, but we still see that we're going to get emotional arcs in this season. That has been an earmark of Star Trek Discovery, that these are a bunch of people who are not afraid on this ship to demonstrate emotions. There have been disagreements, there have been clashes, there have been emotional moments, and they are not afraid of showing their emotions. We have seen such stifled emotions from other iterations of Trek, and it worked for the time. But the time that we're in now makes me say, if you've got a ship and they are thrust into the future, and there are a lot of humanity is on this ship. But regardless to whether they're human or not, they have feelings. And how does that work? Would you have liked to have seen uh, Troy and Crusher have a conversation, a private conversation together about uh, how Troy might have felt watching the man that she felt like she was destined to be with, and she knew that he loved her? How she would like, how did she like to see him having these dalliances on the ship? You know, if they were to do all of this again, which they did in season 3 of Picard, you saw more emotional beats. And I think the times that we're in, those emotional beats are not only accepted, they're required. We need to see people be people and not uh, exaggerated ideas of heroes. So this is the picture where they were on Trill, right? So is this supposed to be girl? Because I know we went to Trill, and you can see that these are the little guardian people from Trill, right? So is this supposed to be Gray? Are we gonna say goodbye to Gray? Is this what? So yeah, I think that's the last shot. But I guess we would have to say something about Gray, you know. Thank you, Ellis, for being here. And I'm very excited for Disco. Hope you join us for our recaps and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to Trill. Something's happening. I don't know what's going on with, if this is Gray, or if we even know what's happening. Not sure. But yeah, that to me wrapped up all of the ideas that I think about season 5 of Star Trek Discovery. Um, what do you guys? You guys got anything else to add to our to my meandering? Because I know I was just riffing for a little while here. You guys tell me what you think. My coffee's gotten cold. I really hate that. The trailer was pretty good. It is a build up to where we're going this season, and it feels really good that it is more or less a race to get something, rather than, oh, we got to stop this, because if we don't stop it, if we don't stop it, the whole world. It's not that, you know what I mean? Mm. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Dreamwalker. You guys make the stream. All I do is just sit here and talk. Thank you. You guys are so kind. You guys are so kind. Um, Justice says, never understood why people dislike emotional arcs. Most of the best stories and Trek stories have that. He loves that about storytelling. It's part and parcel. Some people don't want to feel, you know, and there was a time that was the accepted practice. We don't want to feel. We want to just we want to be taken away into another world. But then, just like Justice said, some of the best episodes are ones that are loaded with emotion. What I think a lot of people had an issue with is that there's emotion in almost every episode of Discovery, which I don't have an issue with that, of course. And people who are more secure in their emotionality may not. But then there is that group of people who are like, look, I could take an emotional episode, but I don't want an emotional season. And, just imagine The Visitor, the episode from DS9. I always go back to DS9 because I told y'all DS9 is my track. But take that episode, The Visitor. If we stayed in that emotional place for a whole season of Star Trek DS9, in that era, the rest of the series wouldn't have lasted long because people weren't looking to feel all the time. That episode, that particular day, made us feel. But other than that, they're like, okay, now give us something else. This Star Trek Discovery, it came along at the time that it's come along, and the stories are being told in to be reflective of the times. This year, we got several hundred people who are very vocal, who don't like it. But in 20 years, when everybody is returning to Star Trek for whatever reason, they're going to find this show and be like, I don't know what the big deal was. Because where we are is going to be normal then. Yeah. It looks like it'll be a great season and will really cement Discovery as great Trek. I truly hope so. If you guys have any other ideas, of course, send them to me. I love to hear your ideas, what your theories and thoughts are on where the season is going. Also, join the Discord, which I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get that link to you. Maybe I'll do it in the community notes on YouTube where I'll just put that link there. So if you want to join us on Discord, you can. Hopefully, if you and I think everybody here is subscribed, but hopefully, if you've not yet subscribed, you do so. I love new company. I love to have y'all here with us, especially for these live streams as we recap Star Trek Discovery. And we're going to also still could try to continue to keep in touch with the rest of the entertainment world. We do engage live for our Star Trek content. You will see the weekly wrap up or the midweek meltdown for our just entertainment in general, because there's a lot going on in the entertainment realm and I love to have those conversations. And if you love having them with me, join me for those as well. Disco had done great service to the LGBT community. Yes. And some people, that's one of the things they don't like. And I think to myself, especially Black people, if you have a problem with this, just remember where we were 50, 60 years ago. It ain't been that long. 60 years is in the grand scheme of things, 60 years has not been that long. Now, just think about the fact of where we were 60 years ago, what we had to do to become as equal as we are right now in this country. How can you be mad at a person who was Black first, because that's the first thing people see about you is that you're Black, and then secondly, they're LGBT, and now they're trying to fight for those rights? How do you look down your nose at those people? The hypocrisy. We've been in their place. We should be 100% behind them getting rights. But it's just, and being accepted, not just having rights, but for them to be accepted. Look, it's not killing any of us. I think there are lines that need to be drawn. I don't agree, and I'm going to say it, and some people are going to be mad at me for saying it. I don't agree that LGBT transgender athletes should be able to participate in sports, because the males transitioning to females do have an advantage. They do. However, with mostly everything else, I'm down. Like 4 flat tires on a Fleetwood going up a muddy hill backwards. Oh, David said he's going to be uploading true paranormal stories later from his own experiences and people that he knows personally. I am very interested in seeing that. Justice says, I can understand sometimes a story doesn't need a lot of emotional beats. I think you can overdo it at times, but there always has to be some. And David says, remember, I'm a dope, so be patient with me, please. Want to join you on Discord. Sorry for plugging. I just would like to join you. Let me see if I can just put it here. My thing ain't open. Where's Discord? Here it is. I'm going to get a link. Copy the link. I'm going to put that link right here. There. Have at it, David. One of those, well, it's only one link. I'm seeing it 3 times because it's on Facebook and Twitch as well. So if you are there, join the Discord. Don't be shy. And make sure that we're hitting the likes and doing all that good stuff, you know. So what else was I gonna say? What else was I gonna say? I think I'm through. Hour 45 minutes. I really and truly thought that we'd be here longer. But hour 45 minutes is good. It's been fun. I appreciate everybody for joining me. I'm gonna try to get here. I got a few days off from the kiddos, so I don't have to babysit for a couple more days. So I'm going to try to get here and do a weekly wrap up where we talk entertainment news. We talk about Dune and its box office. We talk about some of the lawsuits that we're seeing. Again, we talk about that Rush trial. It's a whole lot of entertainment conversation that we can have. So if you like doing that, don't forget to subscribe and join me for the weekly wrap up or the midweek meltdown, depending on what day of the week I do this thing. Keep your eyes open. Thank you for being here. Oh, and thank you, Marge. Thank you. Always lots to think about. I'm going to give y'all some more to think about, too. I ain't forgot what I said. I'm going to talk about that woke thing. But other than that, it has been fun. I will see you guys in the next one. Live long and prosper. Peace.